Welcome back to Poetry by Glenn Gales. Last week we heard a poem all about undying love. I think you may love episode 8 as well. We just happened to have a guest in the studio today. Glenn is here with us, and I think we might actually coax him to read today's poem to us. Good morning, Glenn. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm very happy to be here.
Can you tell our audience a little bit about yourself before we get started?
Well, I'm originally from Oshawa, Ontario, Canada, and I'm actually turning 60 years old in September. I live now in Mont-Tremblant, Quebec, Canada, with my beautiful wife, Tracy. We have three tremendous adult children, our son, Dylan, our daughter, Justine, and our daughter, Carling. And we have three amazing grandchildren. And I spend most of my time either writing music or writing poetry, especially on the rainy days, which there's been a lot of this spring, this May in particular.
It's been so cold here in Quebec.
Yes, a lot of time spent indoors so far this year. This past week, I recently released 2 new songs. Better Days is the most recent one, and What Her Love Makes Me Do is the one that I released the previous week. If you want to give them a listen on Spotify or YouTube, that would be great.
I listened to Better Days earlier this morning. It's quite a catchy little tune.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
So the poem you've brought us this week, Worn and Tattered. Can you tell us a little about where you got the idea from?
Yeah, actually, we were away visiting friends, and I was having coffee one morning by myself because other people in the house weren't up yet. And I was just thinking that when we leave our homes to go away for any length of time, that the house that we leave behind is really nothing without us. It's just a building. And the things that are in it aren't really things if nobody's there to use them. You know, I have several guitars and they don't play themselves. So they just sit there. And I got thinking, well, what is it about the structure and the things inside of it that actually make it a home? And, of course, it's the people. The things would sit there for thousands of years if no one ever opened the door and walked in and used them. So that's where the idea kind of first started to knock around in my head, and I started to write the poem, and it kind of wrote itself after that.
And you're going to read it to us?
Yes, I'm going to try. I don't really have a radio voice, but, well, here goes. Thank you. Worn and tattered. A room without people is nothing at all. Just a floor and a ceiling surrounded by walls. The stuff in the room? Mere objects at best. They can't be called things without someone's interest. A heart without love is simply a pump. Its only real purpose, the movement of blood. But a room full of laughter, from hearts filled with joy? That, dear poem listener, is so very much more. The objects are things now, and some become treasures. The walls hold our secrets, our sorrows, our pleasures. A candlelit window for a loved one's return. A parlor to rest in. A study to learn. A kitchen for stories and simmering pots. A bedroom for loving and dreaming when not. If the welcome mat laying outside your front door becomes worn and tattered by the ones you adore, then no matter your riches, you're wealthy indeed. Take comfort, poem listener. You have all that you need. The grandest of castles, or wee cottage small, it is family and friends that make homes of them all.
That was wonderful, Glenn. Thanks a lot for sharing this with us.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
Before we get into the deep dive, I want to thank you again for being here.
Oh, it's been my pleasure.
Hopefully you'll be able to come back again sometime.
I would enjoy doing this again. Thanks for having me. I've had a great time.
Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so today we're looking at something a bit different, a poem called Worn and Tattered.
Yeah, and it might seem like just a poem, but it actually gets into some really deep ideas about spaces and, well, what makes them meaningful.
Exactly. It really digs into what transforms, just a room into something more, something like a home.
And right away it hits you with this contrast. An empty room, just walls, floor, ceiling, basically nothing.
Right.
And then spaces that are just buzzing with life, with connection. It really makes you think, what's that secret ingredient?
Totally. The poem puts it so simply. A room without people is nothing at all. Just a floor and a ceiling surrounded by walls. That's pretty blunt.
It is. It suggests it's us, our presence, our, living in the space that gives it any kind of purpose.
It's not just about the physical structure.
Not at all. And that idea carries over to the stuff in the room, too. Objects.
Oh, right. The distinction between objects and things.
Yeah, exactly. They start as mere objects at best, the poem says. Just stuff. Until someone takes an interest.
So it's our attention, our memories tied to them.
That's the idea. That interaction turns them into things that matter, sometimes even treasures.
I liked the analogy it used, comparing a heart without love to simply a pump.
Oh, yeah, that was powerful.
It really hammers home that idea that function alone, well, it's not enough, is it? It needs that emotional spark.
Precisely. A heart just pumping isn't the same as a heart full of love. And a room just standing there isn't the same as a room full of life.
It's the same principle. Without the human element, the emotion, it's kind of hollow.
Right. And then the poem sort of walks us through different rooms, showing this in action.
Yeah, it paints these little vignettes, doesn't it? Like laughter from hearts filled with joy.
And rooms holding secrets, our sorrows, our pleasures. Places for rest, for learning.
Even the kitchen, with stories and simmering pots. And, of course, spaces for loving and dreaming.
It's showing how all these human experiences, the big ones and the small ones, get woven into the very fabric of the place.
They seep into the walls almost. It's not just where these things happen. The space becomes part of the experience itself.
Which leads us to that central image, the title image, really, the welcome mat.
A worn and tattered welcome mat outside the front door.
Yeah. And instead of seeing that wear as damage or neglect.
It flips it. It says that wear is actually proof.
Proof of connection, right?
Yeah.
Evidence of loved ones coming and going, friends, family.
It's like a physical record of all those greetings, those visits.
And the poem says that kind of wear, that worn and tattered state, that's a real wealth. More valuable than, fancy possessions.
I love that idea, that the signs of use are actually signs of love.
It really reframes how you might look at your own space, doesn't it?
Definitely. And then it brings it all together at the end.
With that line about castles and cottages.
Yeah. The grandest of castles, or wee cottage, small. It is family and friends that make homes of them all.
So ultimately, the size, the grandeur, the physical stuff, that's not what defines home.
No, it boils down to the people, the relationships. That's the essential ingredient.
What quite a universal message, really.
So yeah, this deep dive into worn and tattered really highlights that the true value, the soul of a place, it comes from the human side, the connections, the experiences, the love shared there.
Which leads us, and you, with something to think about, I suppose.
Right.
Consider your own spaces, your home, maybe your office, anywhere you spend time. What are the little signs, the bits of wear and tear that tell the story of the connections that truly matter to you? What makes it your space?
I hope you enjoyed listening to Glenn read his poem. We're happy he was able to join us today. Hope you'll come back next week, when I will once again be doing the reading, to share a few minutes with us. Remember, if you like this poetry by Glenn Gale's podcast, please click like and share. Also hit the subscribe button to get notified of any of Glenn's new poems or songs. See you again next time. Have a great day. Bye for now.